Hey everybody, welcome to the video today. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending your time with me today. I appreciate you guys staying with me last week as I took a week off to spend some time with my family right after my brand new son was born, James. We had a lot of fun time bonding and getting to know him a little bit better, and I love having a son for the very first time. But back to our regular scheduled program. So this week we will be covering Voice of Vegas week number 4. This week we are going to be highlighting a person that serves at a local nonprofit ministry here in town called the Las Vegas Rescue Mission. So this week we're going to be discovering a conversation with a guy named Chuck who volunteers downtown in Las Vegas at the rescue mission. I hope a lot of cities have rescue missions across the United States and across the world for that matter. There's a great need that's being met at each one of these missions. You know, Chuck comes from a very unique, interesting perspective when it comes to the rescue mission, for he once actually came through there as a homeless person. Now he is no longer there. He has a wife and kids, and he's living a great life. He works for a construction company now. However, he once had some lesser luck than he has right now in life. He posed a really interesting question to me like this. He says, so what happens tomorrow if you lose your job? And you happen to also, on the way out, losing your job, you lose your wallet. Well, probably your friends would let you stay with them for a little bit, maybe even your family, to let you get off your feet. But eventually, potentially, your welcome would be worn out at those places. So those people turn to the streets because they can't prove their identification for another job employment. They don't have a place to stay, and they don't have any payment or access to any of the funds that they once had. And that was a sobering thought to me, and I even got to thinking about my life and some things that I need to set up to secure myself in such a way where something like that might not happen. But the discussion today with Chuck, honestly, is a lot of his testimony and how he came out of the Las Vegas Rescue Mission and the amount of change that he's seen, not only in his life personally, but also in the lives of others throughout there. He does talk about his conversion to Christianity throughout the process and his discovering God throughout the whole talk. So I'm really excited to share this conversation with you today. So without any further ado, here's Chuck, and he's highlighting the Las Vegas Rescue Mission of Nevada.
April 10th, 1984, I had a drug overdose in Long Beach Naval Hospital. I ended up 3 days in a psych ward. During that time, I started having a premonition about, hey, I need to do something different in my life. I'm 25 years old. This is not where I wanted to end up. So one day I was sitting on my bed, and the first thought was, boy, if I just went across the street to the bar, I'd be okay. Another thought came to me is like, I've been doing that all my life, and it got me here. Maybe I need to try something different. What I remember was growing up as a child, being in church and that. And then during my adult life, I met a few men that was sharing that there's another way of living. And they had something I wanted. They had that peace and tranquility in their eyes and in their heart. And so I left the hospital and I went to them and I said, I'm here. What do I need to do? Because I don't know how to live life. So these gentlemen in Port Hueneme, California, started taking me on a journey. One of the things in the journey was that I needed to find a God. And I said, well, look, I've been praying to God all my life and nothing happened. I said, it got me here. And it's, well, let's just start with your own conception of a God, whatever that might be. And so they started walking me through different issues that I had with God. Father, image, I couldn't call him Father. So they just said, well, what would you have God be? And it started from there. So during the years, I've been exploring and finding out what is God. During that time, I came to a church because something just led me in my heart that says, I need to be here. And at that church, people were talking from their heart, and they had something I really wanted. That peace and that tranquility. And they were whole, and I didn't feel whole for a lot of years. And so I decided to get baptized, and I joined that church and started my journey in Christ. The people I work the best with are people that have been on the streets, drug and alcohol problems, living problems, males that don't know how to be a man, people that have been abused for wives or for kids or whatever. And I can relate to all of that. And so I started for myself the healing process through Christ and learning from his word exactly how to be saved and how to be a man. And today I take that learning and give back to the men of my community. One of the reasons I'm here in Las Vegas is I was brought here in the desert. It was not my place to live. but again, a God calling. And so I came here, and I found the mission here was one of the first places I was brought to by another group of men that do the same thing I do. And we started working with some of the gentlemen, and it's just shown them the hope that life can be different. It doesn't have to be about the drugs and alcohol. It doesn't have to be about what's rough and tough as a man, but rather, what would Christ do? How does he lead? For instance, there was the one gentleman, he was serving tonight. He was started out here 16 years ago. And I met him about 6 years ago, and he was just coming back to here and giving back. And so he had gone through the process, graduated, went out and continued to be a servant in the community, and now he's coming back to give. I've also met men here. Some of them I meet for a while, they go back out in the streets, they're gonna try it again, and then they come back in here. But it's always here, and that's what, this is what it's about. It's a safe place for them. And they come back and they get the program and they find Christ. And that's the key for them, is until they actually find Christ in their heart, they're going to continue to go out there and doing the things they were doing. It was the same way for me. Well, I think a lot of people feel when they come here, they have to interact directly. And there's a lot of things we do indirectly with them. For one, in the food service, is standing behind the counter and just putting food on a tray and saying thank you. That's an indirect thing. You're not interacting with the people, but yet you still get to see what type of action you can do and how it helps. And then eventually we step out from behind the counter, and it's a simple hi, or I remember you, or hello, or helping a family carry their trays, or helping a gentleman with a wheelchair or maybe a cane or something like that carry his tray and just sitting down and then getting him a glass of water. I mean, it's simple things like a service like that. It's not sitting down and giving testimony and trying to get him to come to Christ right then and there. It's the baby steps. It's just being of service like we would be to just another human being.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that interview with Chuck. I know it was a little bit longer, but I hope you took some nuggets of truth away from there that you can apply to your own life. I am in full favor of the Las Vegas Rescue Mission. My local church supports the Las Vegas Rescue Mission, not only for volunteering, but also in money donations. So if you have a passion and and this video struck a chord in your own heart, please go to the Las Vegas Rescue Mission's website. I'll leave it a link in the description below here so you can check it out on your own. But if you can't volunteer your own time because you're not a local here, volunteer your money or at least your thoughts and prayers, as this vital ministry in Las Vegas is impacting lives up close and personal. Thank you so much for tuning in. Come back next week to see what's up with the Voice of Vegas. I'll see you then.